to their institution saying, you may not like this, but it is a new asset class, and you have to make a decision one way or the other. So that was a little bit of a booster. But then many institutions are looking at the regulatory environment and saying, well, okay, that's not clear yet. I don't think we can take this risk. So, once we get clarity, more clarity, and I do think the President's executive order is important, getting everyone in gear. And I think really important is Janet Yellen, Secretary of the Treasury. A year ago, I was asked, probably on CNBC, why she hated, why she was so down on crypto, the environmental, the illicit activity, and so forth. She had nothing positive to say. Boom. 1 year later, the president and I'm wondering, okay, someone's whispering in their ears.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not someone whispering. It's the crypto community yelling.
That's true. That's true.
There are 50 million owners of crypto.
And I think, the difference, one of the differences is, and now this is a Democrat, Senator Wyden, he's embracing crypto because it's a new technology first. Whereas you'll have others on the more progressive side who are not, because they're thinking from a financial services point of view, and they have certain constituencies there. So I think those who are thinking technology first, we cannot lose this competition globally. The US needs to be at the bleeding edge. This is the next generation internet, right? These are revolutions, money, financial services, and NFTs are next generation internet. So I think those who are thinking about it from a technology point of view have a much easier time supporting it.
Got it. Well, while we're talking about DC, you mentioned the Bitcoin ETF. ARK had an application that was denied recently.
Yes.
What's the next step for ARK, and what's your expectation for a spot Bitcoin ETF to be approved?
Maybe Mike knows more in terms
Mike's
of
got a timeline.
We will reapply. I find it fascinating that they have approved the Bitcoin futures. Yeah, sure. 40 Act funds, which are ETFs regulated by the SEC, protecting the little guy. People feel safe with them. It's a familiar wrapper for a fund. And it's a good wrapper too, in that you've got the liquidity, the tax effectiveness, the transparency, and so it's a really good wrapper.
And talk about ARK strategy a bit here. You guys have gone through Bitcoin proxies, whether it's GBTC or Coinbase or some of the crypto-related stocks. A lot of those have actually underperformed Bitcoin. I wonder why, and your take on performance.
Well, the last year has been murderous for innovation stocks. And it's because of fears of inflation and interest rates rising much higher. That has hurt the multiples, the PE ratios, valuations of these companies. I have a point of view, or we have a point of view on inflation and interest rates, but we think this has been way overdone. And it is interesting that actually, just since COVID, we've seen the correlation between Bitcoin, crypto generally. One of the reasons for this strength is the holding behavior. 14 million out of the 19 million Bitcoin out there have not traded in more than 6 months. And we've got a lot more hodlers out there, I think, than people appreciate. One of the reasons. And I've said this before, but I think it's so important. Bitcoin, yes, the populist movement, but it is also a new monetary system. It is the first global, big idea, private, meaning not oversight by a government, digital, rules-based monetary system. I think it's a profound idea, and more people around the world are beginning to appreciate it as they're seeing their currencies fall apart with the dollar strong. This hits emerging markets usually hardest.
Yeah. Well, you have $100,000, or ARK has a $100,000 price target on Bitcoin.
1 million.
1 million, excuse me. Wow, $1 million price target.
Yes.
walk us through some of the data and factors you're looking at, and how do you get from 38,000 to $1 million bucks in a decade, less than a decade?
Yeah, less than a decade. You will find the building blocks of this in our Big Ideas 2022 class, and it is the leader of the new asset class. And so I don't think it will be going up immediately because of a breakdown in our economic prospects. And I also think that all of the technology, I'm going to take the other side of this bet, I think the technology revolution, and it's not just blockchain technology, it's genomic sequencing, robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, all of them are highly deflationary, and all of them will be very destructive to the traditional world order, but they will present massive opportunities for growth. So I feel as though it's going to feel chaotic like it does now, but I do believe that we're heading into a deflationary world, and it will be very good for some companies. They will boom. You lower prices, you get more demand, but other legacy industries are going to be sitting there with stranded assets. And there's going to be, again, a lot of confusion about what's going on, as there is today. So we shall see.
Has anything in the
Goods inventories building up, I think, is going to cause pricing to come down.
Got it. I want to talk about Twitter and Elon Musk. That's been another headline in the last couple of weeks here. ARK got out of Twitter. Any sense that you would reallocate into that company if Elon Musk gets this deal done?
Well, we're very interested in what he's going to do. Now, if he's taking it private, our funds can't own it anymore. Although we are out there with a public-private in registration at the SEC, so I can't talk about it. But very interested in what he's going to do. I think it's interesting. I think Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk have gotten much closer since our B word conference last year. The B word,
and
Bitcoin
buddies, like they're hanging out.
I sense they think in many ways similarly, not always. And so I think we're going to see a lot of crypto permeating Twitter. We already know that with Stripe Connect, the first to say in terms of free speech, you know you have it if someone you don't like is able to say something you don't like.
Talk is cheap.
Right.
We'll see what he does.
We shall see.
We'll see what he does, right?
He's usually fulfilled his promises. Maybe not on the time schedule everyone would like, but he has.
I'm hopeful, but I'm just telling. I would feel much better if those projects like Facebook, like Twitter, were decentralized.
And my guess is he will evolve somehow in that direction.
Let's hope.
I think, yeah.
Do you think other big tech companies could move in that direction, or will be forced to if Twitter takes this on, becomes a more decentralized platform?
You know, it's very hard. This is old DNA and new DNA territory. So taking Twitter private to do the right thing is the right thing to do, right? Because there will have to be a change in the economic model. Most public companies can't change on the fly like that.
Yeah.